Well, if we have a quick look at the route on this basic map, we can see that the railway line here almost runs parallel to the River Severn. And we're going from Ironbridge through Jackfield, Coalport, then we're going to bear south through Linley Holt and on our way to Bridgnorth and the Severn Valley Railway. In the first part we're looking in the Ironbridge Gorge area from Ironbridge down to Coalport. Well, I've reached Ironbridge, and Ironbridge station is no longer, and this pay and display car park is what's left of the old station. We can see over there the station hotel, and this is the line looking west. And this car park is appropriately named the Station Yard Car Park. This picture of Ironbridge Station goes right back to 1893. By 1903 it actually had 16 employees. Now this wasn't the peak. The peak was in the 1930s when about 20 people worked at the station. This picture dates back to 1956. This picture shows the signal box, which had until 1956 31 levers until the down line was closed. And this picture is in the last days of steam, showing Ironbridge Station in 1963. Well, there's no buildings left on the station, but we have got some evidence of the track here. And we've got 2 rails still left here. And we've got the line looking towards Bridgnorth. And the other side of those trees is where the station used to be. Well, from the station here at Ironbridge, I'm now going to continue eastwards and see if we can find what's left of Jackfield Station. It was only a halt, so there's probably very little left, if anything, but we're going to see what we can find. Well, just look at this. This is Jackfield Sidings, which is just on the approach to Jackfield Station. Some people have gone to a great effort here to preserve the old crossing gates, the track and the signals. Now here in Jackfield we have the Jackfield Tile Museum, and if you watch the Michael Portillo programme that came through this area, he came here and made some tiles similar to the ones that are in the Houses of Parliament. And here is the old Jackfield Holt station, and the platform is still intact. It's great to see that the platform and station still exist. Going back to the Middleton Press book, we can see the Coalport Bridge here, and we've got the Coalport East Station over here with the line to Wellington, and the Severn Valley line here with the station here going under the bridge up towards Ironbridge and down towards Bridgnorth. Well, I've got a couple of photographs of Coalport Station from this book, Railways of East Shropshire Through Time by Neil Clark. I have a signed copy here. This picture shows the station in the 1920s. And at this time of working there were 4 people who were employed here. The other picture from Neil's book shows the station as it is today. Coalport Station was built with a single track, although in 1925 an additional line was added. Also added was some goods sidings, and we can see some goods wagons in this picture taken from 1958. This is another view of Coalport Station looking west in 1959. By this time this would have been a very quiet and peaceful station. Well, if we look at an aerial photograph of Coalport, you see we've got the River Severn here, and this is Coalport East here, which goes up onto the Silking Way and up to Wellington. And here's the bridge, the Wood Bridge as it was, and the Wood Bridge Inn, and here we have the Severn Valley line, and Coalport West is here, running parallel with the river, running from Ironbridge up here to my left, where my finger is, down through Coalport West and on towards Linley and Bridgnorth to the right. This undated photograph from the Railways of East Shropshire book shows the station at the time of working. Well, this is Coalport Station today. Looks pretty magnificent, to be honest. I'm not sure about the red container on the right, but apart from that, this is pretty spot on for what a Victorian station should look like. Certainly looking from this point westwards towards the railway bridge, we could easily be back in Victorian times. We've got the track, we've got the carriages, we've got a fairly well preserved platform, we've got lights, the bridge itself, and of course the station. Now these Great Western coaches, which are here permanently at Coalport Station, may look like ordinary carriages, but actually they're little mini hotels, and they are actually holiday homes. So if you want to come and stay here in these carriages, then just go and Google their website, Coalport Holidays, and you'll find it. So you can actually come here and have a holiday and live in these carriages for a while. That sounds like my sort of holiday. Well, from this point we now move out of the Telford area and we move down the track, south-easterly direction, and head towards Linley, which is the only stop between here and Bridgnorth. A quick look back at the map, and we're going to move from Coalport here now in a more southerly direction down to Linley Holt and then onwards towards Bridgnorth. Well, this is Linley Holt Station, which is a couple of miles south of Coalport. Well, I'm looking at the station now, looking north, and we've got the line from Coalport coming towards us. We've got the station and the platform on the west side of the line. And now I'm looking south down towards Bridgnorth. This was originally called Linley, but later changed to Linley Holt. This was due to the small number of passengers which use the line and use the station here. Well, I've got a picture in the Railways of East Shropshire book that was taken about 20 years ago. And actually, it looks exactly the same today. Well, taking a look in my Middleton Press book, you can actually see there on the left hand side of the line was actually a little goods loop, and this was removed in 1939. A slightly older picture of the station here in the same book from 1901. Hasn't changed a great deal though, apart from the track disappearing. I've got another picture here in the Middleton Press book, but this is a much later photograph, actually 1963, just before the line closed. There's one more picture in this book, and this shows a diesel train in the last year of the line heading down towards Bridgnorth. I found 3 more pictures on the internet on the Disused railway site, and this picture shows that very same train in 1963. This picture moves us on to 1980, and once again you can see there's been very little change since then. Indeed, it shows us from this picture in 2005. The story of Linley Station, its remoteness, is all tied into the Appley estate on the other side of the river. This was owned by Thomas C. Whitmore, someone who was absolutely fervently against the building of the railway. In the negotiations with the railway company, he forced them to draw up plans to build tunnels so that he wouldn't be disturbed, this being despite the fact that he was on the other side of the river. However, lots of delays in raising the capital to do this allowed time for more negotiation, and eventually Whitmore agreed that the line could be built without tunnels as long as there was a small halt with 2 trains a day visiting, hence the creation of Linley Hall Station. We can see this remoteness if we look at this aerial map. We've got Coalport to the distance, which is the station to the north, and in fact the next line south is Bridgnorth, and the whole area between Bridgnorth and Coalport is very remote indeed. And here we've got Apley Park here, and Apley Park was accessed to the station by a small bridge here. So despite building the station here, there certainly wasn't going to be lots of passengers accessing it on a regular basis. The station first opened on the 1st of February 1862. It did actually close in 1917 in January, and then just to reopen again 3 months later. Later in its history, of course, it was reduced to just being the hold. Well, the next station going south is Bridgnorth itself, which is where I'm heading now. I'm at the point now where the railway line approaches Bridgnorth Golf Club. Now if we turn south, the footpath actually goes due east here. If we look due south though, we can see the course of the line continuing on a very unpublic part. And I'm going to have to follow the footpath around now to get back on the line before it enters Bridgnorth. We can just about see where we are on the Ordnance Survey map. There's Bridgnorth here. If we come north out of Bridgnorth, where my finger is, that's where I'm standing now, and this little dotted line here is the bit where we're just looking through the trees. This area here is all taken up by Bridgnorth Golf Club, and the track has disappeared completely. We are then going to move right up into the town here, up to the tunnel entrance. From that last point I'm now heading into the town, and as you approach the town the railway rises away from the river. Although it was tunnelled, there was still a bit of a climb that the trains took up from the river as it headed towards Bridgnorth Station. If I pan to the north, we can see the tunnel entrance, the north tunnel entrance. And there it is, the north portal. And they've certainly made a good job of making sure no one gets in there. From here the trains go right underneath the high town and come out just before the Severn Valley railway station. Well, I've come round to the south side of the tunnel now, and you can see a bridge. And that bridge is just before the Severn Valley railway station. And the entrance to the tunnel, the south entrance, is just up there in those trees. It's impossible to get to the entrance of the tunnel because it's all now part of some residential homes. Well, this is what the tunnel entrance looked like in 1959, and in fact this picture was taken from the bridge, which is now gone of course. This picture from Middleton Press shows the station in 1958, and a view looking north in December 1963. This picture was taken in August 1961. Well, here we are at Bridgnorth, literally back on track here at the Severn Valley Railway. I've just come around the corner from the last location and we're back into the Severn Valley station. Wouldn't it be great to have this scene in the Ironbridge area once again? Let's hope that those dreams that people have for that comes to fruition.